I don't know what you think of this one, that if this particular diamond field that's now being exploited by the government, if this was properly managed, as much as $1.2 billion a month could be realized by the state from diamond sales. Enough, he said, to turn around the collapsing economy. Do you agree with that?
Well, to an extent, because 1.2 billion is a lot of money, and clearly corruption has been the play here. And I think the fact that the army, because this was a diamond mine which was privately owned, then became nationalized by Mugabe, and he took control of it without actually having a plan to use it for. And the army, they were actually protecting it because they were demonstrating last week for salaries that they didn't get, left their posts, and we had all these numbers of people going in and trying to rescue the diamonds. But I think Zimbabwe is a basket case at the moment, and everyone sees it as such. And Mugabe, clearly desperate for dollars, is desperate to get the diamonds.
Has been to Pakistan, has conducted its own research, has found the village where the man pictured in the middle here allegedly came from. This is in the Punjab, and they've been through electoral registers. They've found his father. What are we to learn from this one?
Well, I think one of the problems with the Mumbai terrorist attack was that everybody was jumping into conclusion, and there were a lot of rumors about, or rather speculations about, Pakistanis being behind it, and yet the Pakistani government denied it. I think the problem is sort of unfolding, and we're finding that one of the people who have been arrested is an agent of the Indians, and this is rather revealing that the Pakistanis actually have not been behind this attack.
There's an interesting paragraph here about the motivations of this particular individual. It says some reports emerging in India suggest that Ajmal, the man here in the picture, may have joined Lashkar-e-Taiba less because of his Islamist convictions, but in the hope that the jihad training he would receive would help to further the life of crime upon which he had already embarked. But of course, it's often played differently in the press, where, of course, the word Islamist appears.
But I mean, let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah.
This boy comes from a good family, but however, he's become radicalized, and that's to do with the fact that he apparently went to some clerics who actually were meant to help him to become a completely different person from the one that his parents had thought he would become. But in saying that, once he became radicalized, he got all this training, and he wanted to unleash this terror, which we've seen clearly.
And it was all over Kashmir.
One of the most important problems here is that we always refer to these terrorists as sort of Islamist, as though it's the religion. The sort of Islam actually condemns killings of innocent people. Islam is a tolerant religion, and no religion actually would accept any terror in whatever form, shape or form. And this is one thing that should actually be learned from any of these terrorist attacks, not to give them that connotation to play on, because to them it's a means to an end. To be said.
This story is about the way the military, the Colombian military, have allowed peasants and ordinary people to disappear from their towns and be killed, and they're counted as guerrillas. So it's counted as a victory, it's presented as a victory, when it's in fact something else.
Yes, but this is a very terrible case. It can only happen in Colombia, where the local people are murdered and presented as rebels, just because the government has actually put an incentive out there that if you kill enough rebels, you'll pay additional money. And what's been happening is that the cocaine dealers have been employing a lot of these local people, putting them on the farms, and as soon as they've completed their work, they've informed the military that they're rebels. The military have actually gone back there and killed a whole lot of them. It's completely wrong, and it's a problem with Colombia, with the drugs, the corruption involved in the government. I think it's an awful mix, really.
Yeah, I think you put your finger on it. Is the corruption, and the military is corrupted, and the militias are corrupted, and of course they are corrupted by the drug traffickers, and they are the ones who are behind all this scenario, because the government is impotent.
But the people who lose the most are the people who are poor,
of course,
and there's so massive inequality.
Absolutely.
And that's why the rebels themselves have been fighting the government for so long, because they were asking, they want their own equality, they want their own land, they want to have a voice. and that's been the problem.
Yes, I certainly agree with that. But unfortunately, it's the drug cartel that seems to be running the show, as it were, whether with the militias, whether with the guerrillas or with the government. Even the government has been corrupted as well. But at least at the moment, the government of the new president, Uribe, at least is doing something that previous presidents were unable to do.
I mean,
and they have actually gained control of certain areas that were totally controlled by rebels.
The question is it enough?
It's never enough.
Well,
it's never enough, unfortunately.
Well,
but at least they are trying, and that's a start.